Hello, my name's Ian. Welcome back to the Grow Zone. Okay, so quite a lot's happened since I last filmed a video. Behind me is a partition wall that I built. I'm going to show you around that first, and also we have power. Very exciting. We'll plug it all in today, and I'll show you how it's all routed, and I've got a bit of footage of how it was installed. There's also a bit of news towards the end of the video which I'll reveal. It's exciting and it's going to help this journey along dramatically. Okay, so I do have some footage of me installing this wall, but it is a little bit sporadic. Most of it's shot on my phone. I'm going to insert some bits and pieces as I'm talking here, and you can see my journey into using a metal stud framing system for the first time, and my first time installing a door, and also some trouble with the flooring, some very interesting times trying to drill into this stainless steel wall, and some lessons about framing a door. All right, let's open up and see. It's going to be very dark in here now. That's been a dramatic change, but you can get an idea of the other side of this if the camera will adjust slightly. This is 70mm cellplast, it's called here in Sweden, foam board I guess, and I chose this because it's easy to cut, makes a bit of a mess, but can just be done with a normal handsaw. And I chose to use wood for framing around the door. This gives us something super sturdy to drill into, and I'm yet to mount the screws into this frame just because I wanted to get it sat properly before I did that. I had a bit of help from Arild, who's the chap who owns the farm here, a friend of mine. The container isn't straight, it's not flat on the ground. You can see that in the very first video where I had this thing delivered. It was a bit of a scramble to get some plates on the back of it while he was pulling it off the truck onto the crane. And also it's not level side to side either, so the whole container is twisted ever so slightly, and when you're trying to put up a wall that becomes very apparent. The other thing I had to make a decision on was the flooring. Initially I thought to cut out 70mm from these T-profile corrugation bits and then mount the frame right to the floor of the container. But as you can see where these pieces meet, there is a little ridge, and also these are a T-profile. So I would have been able to get down 70 like that, but then it would have been really tricky to cut this piece out and keep it flush. So I decided to mount the frame on top of the corrugation, and I'm going to go with the spray foam in here. This list section at the top here that runs along the length of the container comes out past the wall, so there's a bit of a gap at the top there on both sides. That will also have to be filled, and then this side of the wall, which will be the fruiting chamber, will be lined with a board and some kind of laminate on top of there to seal it as best as I can. First hang of the frame, it still needs some adjusting. See, it's come down the top there from the header. It does close, but with a bit of persuasion, and I think that's going to get annoying working in here every day growing mushrooms. What I am happy with is the space that I've left myself. I ended up with 3 meters 10, because 3 meters landed me in one of these valleys here in the wall, and 310 put me on a flat surface, and I'm really happy with that. It allows me room to have one bench this side and one bench the other side, and I've got plans for that sink in the next video. I think it's about time to plug this container in and fire up some lights, don't you think? Stay with me to find out my solution for the fans. Let me just show you where it goes out. I've got some footage of Isaac, who's a electrician friend of mine, JS Electrical here in Skåne. I'll put their details down below. Shout out to them. This was pretty entertaining, drilling through the stainless and into the foam beneath it, which is clearly fire retardant, but it did burn. And we had to dab some water on the cone bit that he was using to get the hole a little wider so he could get his grommet in there, so that the wire wouldn't catch as it was pulled through. Okay, I'm hiding behind the door here because it's raining. This is where he ended up coming out, and this is our 3-phase. This is a 16 amp connector. We did the calculations, and this gives us plenty of juice for what I want to run now and a bit of room for the future. It does not get hit by the door. So under here I've got 25 meters of cable, and I'll take this out and plug it into one of the machine hall barns over there. Alright, it's really dark in here. Let's flick the switch. Ta-da! Nice. This is the only switch he had. He did say he would come back with a normal one, but I kind of like this industrial style. And these are normally installed on air conditioning units or something. Or he ordered it to install on the fans, which I'll come to in a minute. But it's kind of cool here. Really nice to be in somewhere dry. This is actually, just quickly, something I hadn't considered before now. I think I'm gonna need another wall here, right along the front, because I'm not gonna be able to work like this in the winter. Onto the power. So this is our switch, comes up here to a junction box. This is where the wire comes in from the outside, the 3-phase on the outside. Comes into our box here, it's been labelled very kindly by Isaac. Breaker at the top there. I'm going to get all these terms wrong in English. I don't know them in Swedish either. That's why I got a professional in. And you can see the last one, number 12, has been assigned for fans when we get there. Yeah, so this is tag, which is the bench outlets, and bell and the loosening. And the fridges have their own fuse breaker each, and this row at the bottom is empty, but is available for future super powering. This is our first double. You see Isaac's grouped them all as well. These are IP44 double socket there. I think this is where my humidifier is going to sit, as we've discussed before. And that'll be perfect for it to be plugged into there, and then this pipe can go up and straight through the wall. So yeah, one socket this side, and the junction box there comes over the top to the LED in the middle. This was just one I had. I actually bought it for my basement, and then I bought two and installed one. It was so bright that I didn't need this guy, so that was handy. And the junction box runs over there. I have two outlets, one for each fridge. Well, this isn't necessarily the final position for these fridges, but for now I think it's a really good use of the space. So yeah, that's why we decided to have the plugs. If they move, still good to have the plugs up there. Let's come down to another junction box. These rails I think are amazing. They keep everything super neat, and it's a nice solution just to zip tie the mains cables onto. Yeah, down to an outlet here and across to another outlet there. And this will be a space for another bench. It's going to be super dark through here. But I have. This is one of my LED lights, Urban Grow FS110. You can find them on Amazon Sweden. These are full spectrum LEDs, and this is what's going to be in the fruiting chamber. And the beauty about these things, these LED strips, is you can power up to 50 of them off a single cord. And as you can see, they're nice and bright. Right, for now, let's bring in one of these, and we've got some working light. Just a temporary spot for him right now. These are 110 centimeters long, as the name suggests. And for lighting in the fruiting chamber here, I'm going to have them mounted on the ceiling, daisy chained all the way down, and then just not round the door frame here, but I'll have it going through the wall and plugged into one of these sockets, just on a timer, 12 on, 12 off, for our fruiting chamber. Right, whilst Isaac was still here, we discussed having a length of wire running all the way down the length here. And as you can see, I installed this railing for him because that was something that I could do that didn't involve plugging in wires, because I don't know how to do that, and also I wanted it to be professionally done. I didn't want anything plugged in on this side of the partition. This is going to be very humid in here, 85% plus. I didn't want anything powered or plugged in this side if I could avoid it. These are okay. My LED, my Urban Grow LEDs, they're IP65 units, and these little connectors that split them that link them together and power them are IP67, so that these guys are fine. But anything else plugged in here is just going to degrade over time. It's going to struggle in the high humidity. So we discussed a few options. This side coming out, coming out of this junction box, coming along, and then up and then through where this list here meets in the corner, and then along this rail all the way down the end. All right, so this is the very back of the shipping container. That is my partition wall, my LED. This is what I wanted to show you. I can show you from this side anyway. So there's 3 existing fans here that are attached to the Thermo King. 1, 2, 3. The Thermo King is the chiller unit, which is this whole back wall. These bolt on and off. I'm not going to do that because it's going to leave a big hole in my container. But what I did think from the very, very start is, why can I not use these, or I must be able to use these in some capacity for extraction? Maybe not all 3, but I do have 2 extraction fans, as you might have seen in my other videos. Check out the playlist, I'll leave a link, where I was growing in a grow tent, and you can see those fans in action. These 2 fans do work. They are plugged into the Thermo King, which is currently out of commission. It's got no power. It's tiny, tiny rain out here. I'll just show you this quickly. And I'm going to shut this hatch because water's getting in. Okay, here's the 2 Thermo Kings that are still mounted, still operational. I can't reach that one, but it does spin. And this is the one that was seized, or at least the guys who maintained it thought it was seized. But I think it was just this casing that got bent. Maybe it got bumped. I want to show you this just quickly, and then I'm going to get out of here because everything's getting wet. But this is the bracket for my extraction fan, this one here. And these are the bolt holes where the Thermo King mounts to. Check this out. Woohoo! Those are a near perfect match, which is very cool. I think if I can use the plate that this Thermo King was mounted on, spin it around, which will then leave it much, much higher like this, then I can mount my extraction fans in this hole and pull air out of the container and out the back, which is what I thought I'd be able to do from the start. So this plate here, I'm pretty confident that we can use it to mount my extraction fans in the existing holes that these Thermo King fans came from. Or another suggestion that I have had from the electrician who was here, maybe we can power these guys up and then we can run ducting straight off the existing holes that these sit in on the back. Then I can just bolt this back on. So we're a little further along on the mushroom farm container build, and there's a lot more to come. In the next video I'll be doing fun with water. Like I've hinted at, I've got a solution for that already, and that should be interesting. More drilling, more sparks, maybe some smoke. So tune in for that. And as I said earlier on in the video, I have exciting news. We applied for funding to help build this farm and to help in the continued research for the use of the spent mushroom substrate as a compost mulch material. And we had news that we're going to get the funding, which is going to secure a bit of money. Big emphasis on research into soil health, soil regeneration, water retention, all those good things, and also into alternative protein sources such as the mushroom. Yeah, so it'll help the farm along and give us a little more investment so we can get this finished. So that's really exciting. Tune in next time, turn on notification bell, like if you like, subscribe, and please comment. Tell me what I've done wrong, tell me what I could do, what I should do. Yeah, tell me what you guys think. All right, see you in the next one.